Rhodes Food is based at the Groot Drakenstein and offers quality prepared meal solutions, frozen and long life formats.
Sorry, that was very badly written. But look, it's got the brands, which we'll talk about in a minute, but they are also one of the major suppliers of prepared foods to Woolworths. That's why we mentioned them. Yeah.
Market cap here, 6.2 billion rand, PE of 18.5 and a dividend yield of 1.7%. This is one that I think people should take cognizance of. Let's have a look at the share price graph before we go any further.
It's a relatively recent addition to the JSE, Bronwyn. Came out of a private equity company about 3 years ago, and it's done very, very well indeed. And I think the hallmark of this is quality. That's what we're talking about here. You don't get that kind of deal with Woolworths to supply such a range of their foods unless you're supplying incredibly high quality products. So that's the first point. Secondly, they've got a tremendous diversification. Approximately 1/3 goes into the local market, 1/3 into their own brands, foreign market, and then into other brands overseas as well. So it's really a tremendous diversified company.
Coming back to what Paul was saying, with that huge exposure into Woolworths, their fortunes are obviously tied to Woolworths' fortunes.
Do you know, I think in the kind of downturn that we're looking at, I think it's that kind of broad middle is going to take the most pain. I think that upper end, the Woolies, is so sticky, it's so loyal. I'm not referring to the food here, but it's a very, very sticky type of situation, and I think they'll continue to beat this downturn better than most retailers.
Paul?
I agree with that too, because you know, if you're looking for a particular kind of prepared food meal, what are your choices? You're either going into the kind of hamburger fast food type environment, or you're going for something that you know will be healthier and which will be pre-prepared, and you can have something which, you know, isn't quite going to blow up your calorie intake for the day.
But Checkers is coming in with a very competitive offering. They've tied up with the chef from Hell's Kitchen. What's his name?
No idea.
Gordon Ramsay.
Oh yes, him.
Gordon Ramsay to bring out
and I wonder who's making that stuff.
Well, so that's interesting that people are seeing that as a space in which they can compete.
Pick and Pay sold a few years ago, and they had some wonderful products for about a year or so, and then it fell away into absolutely nothing. And I'm not saying the same thing's going to happen to Checkers, but I'm kind of suggesting that.
You are thinking that Woolworths has this cornered?
I think so.
One other thing to note about Rhodes Food Group, Bruce Henderson, the CEO, since 1999, done a tremendous job. But since they came to the market, RMB, you know, Rand Merchant Bank,
yes,
the corporate finance team has gotten hold of them. They've been basically going around buying up all sorts of other businesses in that price range, 100 million to 200 million rands value of business, and they've added enormously to the base of the business. So they're doing one of those roll-up business models. So they bought something called Pacmar. They bought a whole lot of businesses in the Western Cape that make pulp and juices. They've been expanding aggressively into the pie industry with purchases of things like Mar Baker and Saint Pie and the likes, and then most recently Paco, which is spices. So
in other words, they haven't been standing still.
Absolutely. So it's not just the prepared food story. What you've got here is the emergence of a new, you know, food conglomerate, a la AVI, a la Tiger, and so on.
And of course, the international
market likes this kind of thing.
Market that Chris was referring to earlier in the discussion. Hot, not? You want to add some more?
No, I think it's hot. I think this is the kind of company with the right kind of team and the right kind of backers and the right kind of share chart, which is going to get people more and more excited.
Always like this company. Hot. Yeah.
Hot.